Hello everyone from Germany. Thank you for joining this graphIT online event. A special thank you to Peter and graphIT team for organizing this. I'm Keiji Fujii, the CEO of Asprova Gmbh. Today, I'd like to introduce how important the APS and what can Asprova do for your factory. Now, let's dive into today's topic.
So now I start the presentation of Asprova APS for graphIT online event. I'm going to talk about this issue today. First of all, starting from the introduction of company profile and also about myself. I started my business in Europe in '96, founding the lean consulting company, KPC Production System Engineering. We are active worldwide. Then 2008, I founded Asprova Gmbh, consulting sales and implementation of Asprova APS software in Europe. In 2014, I founded Asprova USA in Maryland. KPC Consulting, the lean consulting, we support small, mid-sized companies as well as a large corporation for many years. For instance, for Siemens transformer or switch gears, we supported for one factory more than 10, 11, 12 years because they achieve a further and further cost reduction, and many other power transformers and switch gear or distribution transformer factory of Siemens, often we supported 5-6 years long. So currently we support a very large European aircraft manufacturers for 30 factories, and also we support German Army, who does a whole type of the maintenance of German tanks. About Asprova. Asprova is now 30 years old company. We have currently over 3,500 customers worldwide and having a 62% of market share. And for last 30 years, Asprova has focused solely on development of only APS and supply chain planning system, and we have no other business. Around 45 countries we have users in worldwide, and currently these 15 languages in the software available. We have our office in Japan, Germany, USA, and several countries in Asia, but we have a multiple strong partner network who support sale and implementation like graphIT. Second, how important is APS? First of all, I would like to ask you what's a most important KPI in your company? Of course, without sales, without profit, we're not able to survive. So this is, of course, number one most important KPI. What could be the next? Probably you might say productivity of production resources or OEE, but I say one of the most important KPIs in the production factory is production lead time. Why? Let's go back to very basics. The best production method is the just-in-time production methods, which has very simple and very important philosophy, which is produce only what is needed, produce only when it is needed, and produce only the quantity that is needed. And very simple. So This philosophy applies not only to the automotive industry, but to all types of other industries, including aerospace, shipbuilder, machine builder, pharmaceutical, food and beverage, chemicals, etc. Who should not do this just in time? Of course, everybody should do. Why? Because what is the value added time and stagnation time within the production lead time? In fact, 99% of the time within the production lead time, it is the stagnation time. In front of machine, always the working process is waiting. After the machining, also the working process is waiting. So, within all the lead time, the value added time is very tiny time, maximum 1%. Even the world-class manufacturer with a very high-level system also actually tell us that their value added time is only 1%. 99% or even 99.9 or 9% of the lead time is this stagnation time. Yeah? So, why lead time is the most important KPI for you? So the production lead time is more important if part goes through many process steps like this. This is the green box. These are the production processes with many parallel running process here and here and here parallel, and many merging process. Here is a merging point, here's a merging point, here's a merging. So it seems it's very complicated product. Actually, this is a relatively simple product. It's a catheter which is used for the operation in the hospital. And in fact, I cut the whole process chart to 1/3. It is much longer, yeah, but it seems very complicated. So, person who has those many steps, many parallel running process, merging process, it is more important. This means more important just-in-time production, even more important as process synchronization is absolutely essential. So if you do not do just in time, what's happened? Stagnation in each process interface. You have a lot of waiting time, interface stagnation time. So the process synchronization is essential for this kind of products. So more just-in-time production is important. Another aspect why production lead time is important, because we say that the capability of the production management and production system is reflected in the level of production lead time and inventory. For instance, your weakness of production scheduling, weakness of the process quality, weakness of the equipment availability, weakness of the standardization, training system of operator, maybe less multi-skilled operator, reliability of the supplier, supply chain management. So those kind of result will be reflected in the level of the production lead time. So reducing production lead time means you have to also improve all of those issues. So we talked about KPI in the beginning, about the productivity and OEE, overall equipment efficiency. They are also very important, but when lead times are short and the level of the production management gets higher, then it is important. But I say again, process synchronization is first. Why? Otherwise, productivity and OEE will automatically be high if the machine are running all the time, continue to produce what is not currently needed. So you can run machine as much as you like, producing unnecessary parts, then OEE gets high. Of course, who should do that? But sometimes CFO does because they say that our hourly fee for this very expensive machine is 800 euro. We bought it very fresh, so it should run all the time without orders. It's a very stupid, The hourly fee of each single machine are on the paper, and once you bought a machine, this is already fixed cost. Running or not running doesn't make any change. Where you are able to focus is, because fixed cost is already there, only to the variable cost, which means material cost, inventory, production lead time. This is where you should focus on. So another aspect why APS is very important, why the production lead time is very important. So production scheduling is the backbone of whole the factory. All organizations follow to fulfill their task just in time, starting from sales organization, procurement, logistics, warehouse, production, shipping, quality management, maintenance. All of them are working against the scheduling. So that means in order to synchronize entire works of whole the organization, scheduling is very important. But in the other word, if scheduling is inadequate, then you will have largest waste. There is no larger waste muda than this problem. So that's why scheduling and APS is so important. Also, Mr. Taiichi Ono, who founded the Toyota production system beginning of 50s, he actually listed the 7 types of muda. This is very common for you. Waste through overproduction or producing too early, waste through stagnation, and if you have a stagnation, of course you have an unnecessary inventory. Automatically you will have unnecessary transports. Quality issue, over-engineered process, unnecessary movement of operators, all of them are muda. But please see 7 mudas exactly. First muda, biggest cost for these 4 mudas, most expensive first, second, third, fourth muda are mostly done through inadequate production planning. That is why having a good scheduling is so important. So that means all the factory are totally synchronized. This is the final assembly line. You will have a multiple parallel running sub-assembly lines or machining shop, grinding, turning, milling, hardening, chemical treatment. This is a supermarket interface between machining shop and sub-assembly line. This is a mizusumashi, a milk run system, bringing a finished component from supermarket to a sub-assembly line. Picking area for the final assembly line, material incoming area, multiple hundreds of the suppliers. So all the factory, all the supply chain are really moving synchronized. This synchronized, this is synchronized, just in time synchronized. So entire process, entire works are highly synchronized. So and the production planner, control center are looking over this factory from the bird's eye view, but he is not controlling only this moment. He actually must know exactly how it will be to synchronize these processes also for 1 hour later, 8 hours later, 2 days later, 7 days later, 1 month later, 6 months later, 2 years later. Good advanced planning scheduling system has those pictures for weeks, months, and years ahead. Why? Because this system is able to do orchestrated end-to-end scheduling for entire value-added chain. This is what Asprova does. So just to optimizing a minor area, like only final assembly area, or only this area, or only this machining area, does not have any effect to improve the overall efficiency of the factory. You will not able to reduce your production lead time. You will not able to produce your work just in time. No, not possible. The minor micro area efficiency has no impact to overall efficiency. So why Asprova is the most outstanding APS? Why it is so? First of all, the market requirement in Japan. I have to say that Japanese company who has a very high level of lean production system has a very high level, very detailed level of the requirements, and they know exactly which type of the output of scheduling for production planning result in this area, this area, this area, what they like to have to synchronize their whole complicated processes. They know exactly, and they require very detailed functionalities and properties what we should provide to them. And we worked against this level last 30 years long, very hard, and thanks to this demand of those crazy level of the customer, our system became very good standardized software, and hundreds of thousands of knowledge of lean planning system of top lean companies are included in our standard package, and you are able to use those parameters, those logic for your factory. So our system has an incredible number of the standardized parameters and planning logic. So doesn't matter what you produce, ship, airplane, chemical, food, beverage, electronic, customers specific adaptation, implementation is done without programming. 99.99%. How complicated your process is, we don't need any programming due to those history. So I said 62% of market share in Japan. All of those very famous companies are using our system. And also last year organization RWTH and FIA, they are the same organization, Rheinische Westfalen Technische Hochschule Aachen is the most famous elite technical university, actually made a comparison of 22 APS vendors worldwide, and they ranked Asprova first position. From my point of view, the length of this chart should be much longer. Of course, they are not really professional like we are, so it is okay. We are now first, so we are happy with this result. So how it should be the process finding for you the suitable APS? My recommendation: not function first. Many new contact to us ask immediately, what is your interface? What is your user interface? What is your blah 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 without knowing really the detail of the targets, without knowing the future image. So this is wrong. Before you really research about the functionality, first future image of the best scheduling planning result you have to know. what should be the best optimal planning output for you, in order to reduce production lead time, in order to reduce your inventory, where you like to introduce, reduce the work in process, finished good. How many you want to reduce it? For that, what is the image of the synchronization, process synchronization? What is for you? What does it mean, process synchronization? How it should be? And what should be the output, the result of the scheduling system? First, you must have an image of the sequencing scheduling result. Please remember, sequencing for each single resource is the most important matter. Sequencing. Without sequencing, you are not able to synchronize processes. Without sequencing, you are not able to reduce your lead time and inventory. So sequencing is most important output. Optimal sequencing is most important output of scheduler. Please remember that. And without this knowing of this future image, starting to find out the functionality is wrong. And unfortunately, many European companies do that. The approach is wrong, so you will come and end to the wrong result. So after you know this, then research the necessary functions, parameters, and planning to support the achievement of your targets. So the APS and also importance of the factory standards. So what I wanted to say is, of course, Asprova will reduce your production lead time drastically, but APS create a optimal sequencing, and also APS will improve your process synchronization, but perfection and miracle don't happen with IT system. Why? APS supports optimization only up to the factory's current level of competence. What does it mean? The current level of your operation standards, current level of the management standards. This is the limit. There are various production systems, tools, Kaizen methods to level up your process synchronization, like a 5S system, Kanban, SMET, single minutes die exchange, one-piece flow, doctor nurse, total quality management, total productive maintenance, etc. Like here, SMET reduce the internal setup time through having a more external setup. Then internal setup time will be reduced to half, then half and half and half. Maybe you achieve to single minutes area, then you are more flexible, faster. That means maybe before those kind of Kaizen activity, you are able to produce your, let's say, 4 different products monthly. But I reduced the setup time to half, so I'm able to produce same product twice a month. So your production lead time and then delivery time gets to half. Now it's reduced again to half. I'm able to produce all different product with smaller lot size 4 times a month. Now I reduced further and further my setup time. Now I'm able to produce daily, weekly. So lot size gets smaller and smaller. My lead time, delivery time, flexibility, reaction speed get faster and faster and faster. It's very important standard, operation standard and management standard. So all those kind of sales argument of the IT companies, IT providers, like AI, digitalization, smart factories, cloud system are very popular. but they do not produce result beyond the real capability of the factory. Where is your capability? Software cannot produce better result than your reality of the factory. Yeah? So that's why I recommend you improve factory's operation and management standard continuously, then also automatically, parallelly, APS scheduling results get better and better and better. So my last comments. Please implement best APS as soon as possible. I told you what is the best APS. Yeah? Why as soon as possible? Even if the level of the factory standards is maybe not so high, my setup time is too long, maybe my process time maybe is not really real, maybe plus minus 30%, even plus minus even 50%, it's not correct. But do it implementation of the APS. Why? Because synchronization cannot be achieved without factory access, scheduling. Even though the level of the operation is not high, but if you once have a APS, you will have a sequencing for each single processes, which is optimized. So production lead time is drastically reduced. So even though your lean level is not high, but with good APS system, it is common to reduce lead time by 50% or 70%. But of course, I recommend you do Kaizen continuously. Maybe KPC can support you. Okay, that was my presentation of today.
In closing, I appreciate your time and attention. Thank you, and I hope you gain valuable insights from this event. Goodbye.